In the early hours of March 24, 1998, 23-year-old Amy Bradley, a vibrant and adventurous young woman, disappeared from the Royal Caribbean cruise ship Rhapsody of the Seas. While it was en route from Aruba to Curacao, her last confirmed sighting was around 5:30 a.m. On the cabin balcony, as reported by her family, Amy had boarded the ship in Port Elizabeth with her mother, father, and 2 brothers, all of whom were accounted for when the ship departed at 5:30 p.m. On March 22nd, the 4 had been enjoying a week-long cruise celebrating Amy S.'s recent graduation from the University of South Carolina, where she had studied marine science. On the morning of March 24th, Amy woke up early, made a couple of phone calls, and left the cabin to go out on the balcony, which was shared with their next-door neighbors, the Ferreras. Mr. Ferrera would later tell investigators that he and his wife awoke around 5:30 a.m. to what sounded like screams in the middle of the night. He described them as blood-curdling screams. When they stepped out onto their own balcony, they saw Amy standing on the railing and hanging on for dear life. The Ferreras immediately assumed that Amy had been trying to perform a trick or dare that had gone horribly wrong, as she had earlier that week discussed jumping off the top of the ship with some friends, an idea that the Ferreras believed was reckless, but not necessarily dangerous. Frightened by the prospect of Amy falling, Mr. Ferrera shouted across the way, "Don't jump," and she promptly responded, "I'm not jumping," and then she disappeared. Startled by her sudden disappearance, Mr. Ferrera rushed back inside the cabin and alerted the couple next door to come and look over the railing. But Amy was nowhere to be seen. When the Ferreras returned to their cabin moments later to call the ship's operator, they noticed something peculiar. Amy's purse was sitting on the floor, her passport and some cash were missing. This detail, along with the lack of an entry point into the room, led them to believe that Amy hadn't jumped, but rather had been taken. By the time Amy was reported missing, the cruise ship was approaching its final destination, Curacao, as the sun rose, casting an eerie glow over the ocean. The Coast Guard began searching the waters, but there was no sign of Amy. To this day, it remains unclear why Amy was specifically targeted, if she put up a struggle, and why her abductor or abductors chose to leave her behind once the ship docked at 7 a.m. After the horrifying ordeal, the Bradley family filed a lawsuit against Royal Caribbean, alleging that the company failed to protect their daughter and that her disappearance could have been prevented. They claimed that Amy had previously reported unwanted advances by a member of the ship's crew, and that when she mentioned the incident to the assistant cruise director, Lisa Clark, Clark told her to get over it and get on with her vacation. In response, Royal Caribbean maintained that Amy's disappearance was unprecedented and that there was no evidence linking the cruise line to her disappearance. They also denied allegations that Amy had reported inappropriate behavior by a crew member, citing a lack of documentation. As the years went by, the case grew colder and colder, and theories morphed. Some people believed that Amy had staged her own disappearance in order to escape her suffocating life. Others thought she'd fallen overboard accidentally and had been lost at sea. Still, others suspected foul play, believing that Amy had been the victim of a crime. But in 2006, a glimmer of hope emerged when a Florida man came forward claiming to have information about the case. He alleged that he had heard a rumor from a dock worker who had claimed to have loaded a body into a truck belonging to a VIP on board the ship. However, this new lead quickly fizzled out as the mystery of Amy's disappearance remained unsolved. Today, the case continues to baffle investigators and the public alike. With few answers and even fewer leads, the search for Amy Bradley remains one of the most perplexing, unsolved mysteries of our time. Did you enjoy this episode? Then be sure to check out more episodes like it. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching.